I'm Steve Edwards. I'm not an academic. My background is in marketing. I came to the University of Bristol 2 years ago when I became Centre Director of SETsquared. Before that, I had run agencies specialising in startups, things like Airbnb and Nest, and a very big energy company called Bulb Energy, which is now a very small energy company, which is a classic startup story. When I was at SETsquared, Julian and Jackie from Commercialisation in Red had started a question about how we could support more enterprise coming out of the university, and they wanted to make the journey better. We've talked a lot today about how the user journey of being an enterprising researcher or a member of the university, how do we make that better? And I found, as being a Centre Director of SETsquared, it a bit weird that lots of people in the university didn't know about SETsquared, and lots of people in SETsquared didn't know about support within the university. And that set in train what at the time was called the Entrepreneurship Project and became Bristol Grid. And so over the last couple of years, we've spent a lot of time doing a lot of user research, talking to lots of different stakeholders, researchers, academics, staff, support providers, looking at other universities. We've talked to them about what your needs are as individuals, worked out what support providers want to do, and sometimes where the friction and the barriers are. And over the last 9 months with the team, Francis at the back there, we've done an amazing job in testing lots of different ways, trying to find out what really works for individuals within the University of Bristol. And all of this has really been about one thing, which is the enterprise journey. We've heard lots of stories about how you start, you have a great idea, you have a piece of research, you want to create some impact from it. The journey is never simple. It never seems to be quite straightforward. It doesn't take 6 weeks and then bing, you've sorted it. There's lots of different things on the way. Quite often you don't know what you don't know when you start, or there's a bit of a pivot halfway along. And this has been, for me, the last 18 months, the most useful chart I've had in all of the charts I've ever done, because it expresses it's a bit of a mess. And what we're trying to do with Bristol Grid is trying to simplify that journey, trying to make it easier, more understandable, and hopefully enable anyone who has got a good idea to have a much better chance of succeeding with it. And the key thing about that, about pressing the button, is about putting the user at the heart of this experience. It's about making it accessible for everybody, not just those people who may know the right people or may have done it before or might have a little bit of cash. Those things are all really useful. It's about giving anybody with an idea the ability to find the connections, the support, the resources, anything you as a researcher, as an academic, as a staff member, if you've got a brilliant idea, there's no shortage of support, as I found when I was in SETsquared. There was lots of other pieces of support within the university, and at the last count, we counted 164 individual touch points within the university that can support a researcher, a member of staff who has an idea and they want to turn it into impact. The challenge is, how do you connect? And so everything that we've done within Bristol Grid is really about putting the user at the heart, putting that person there to say, right, how do we make that journey better? It might be, as I say, if you don't have a big network community, you don't know lots of people within the university, how do we help you connect to other people? It might be you don't like networking. You might not want to go out into an environment like this and go up to complete strangers and talk to them, because when I first started doing this, I hated doing that. The Bristol Grid is there. You may not have to talk to it. You can talk to people and connect to people online on the grid, and it's all about enabling people to do that. The challenge we found, though, and when I first started this, I'm thinking, it's great. We're just going to create this really simple little process, and you do step by step by step, and then you just click it off. And the reality is there is no one recipe. Everybody's journey is different. Every experience is different. But what we have found, and I think what we know to be true, I'll stop pressing that button, is that there are broadly five things that you will always have to get right across that journey. And we're using this to shape how we make the Bristol Grid a way of making it easy for you. The big blue one, product and service, that really is what I would call the innovation. And by the way, the language here will change. It doesn't matter what you do, you'll probably have a different sector or a different discipline. Your language will be slightly different. But broadly, they're the same types of things. So the product and service, what's the innovation? What's the piece of research that you've created that you want to turn into impact? What's that idea that you've got? Everybody has something. The important thing is, if you're going to succeed, is there has to be some problem you're solving, someone who needs it, a recognition that what you're doing is better than already exists. The big pink blob, market or need. Who's going to use it? who's going to need that piece? So in social enterprise, you'd say, we don't have customers, we have those people in need. But what you have to identify is there's going to be some people who are going to benefit from it, and somehow they're going to pay for it, whether it's individually as customers, or it might be funders, it might be government, it might be someone who recognises there's benefit in delivering that. Organisation, as you go along, when you've got a good idea, that's fine, but as you grow bigger, you're going to have to go, right, how do we make sure that we've got the right capabilities? How do we make sure that we've got the right contracts? Do we know how to do our tax if you're turning it into a spin-out, for example? Have we got the right insurance? All of those things that you don't think about when you've gone, right, I've just had a eureka idea about how this will work. Some of these practical things going along the way. These are the things that the Bristol Grid, like all of these elements, is we can make sure that the people who know how to help you, we can connect you to them and make sure that you have the right support at the right time. Finance, sometimes it's about investment, sometimes it's about grant funding. It might be at the very early stages you go, do you know what, I just need to keep going on this for 6 months. So could I get a part-time job? Could we help you somewhere along the line? It's always different, but the important thing is, if you're going to go down the line, you're probably going to need some money in different ways. And it's different, and there are different ways of helping people, and it's not always, well, I can't get investment, therefore I can't do this. There will be other things you can do. And the final thing that we know is consistent in all of these different journeys is about being a founder. Not only is this a journey of enterprise and journey of your idea and how you turn that into act, this is a journey of you as a founder changing. Particularly if you've never done this before, you're going to go on a learning journey. If you've never understood about IP contracts, or you've never understood about copyright, you might have to learn that. All of these different 5 elements are the things that the grid is here to help you overcome, understand, and become experts at. Either you as an individual, or to make sure that you've got access to capability and capacity elsewhere within your team. If you include all of these different elements, hopefully you will then deliver the impact that you're looking for. So the Bristol Grid is your one-stop shop for enterprise support. And I say yours because we've created it as a beta, we're still testing it, we're still shaping it, it's still going to change. And it's going to change with everybody's impact, and that will be researchers, anybody who's got an enterprise idea. You come to us and say, right, fine, I like this bit, but I don't like that bit. How can I do this? Tell us that, and we'll do that. Talk to us about what you need, and we'll try and give it back to you. But also, it's yours as lots of providers in here, lots of members of RED and different parts of the university. If you find friction in terms of how you can deliver your support, and you think there are better ways of doing it, the Bristol Grid is here as a way for you to be able to connect better and be able to provide better support across the university. So, 3 things that we deliver. 1, a community hub. Today has been a good example of the program, so you can see everybody else, and I'll show you a little demo in a second. But this is a community hub where you can connect with other people, where you can see the resources and all the fantastic things. As we build it, you'll see everything within the university in one place, one-stop shop, and you won't have to hunt around, and it'll save you time doing that. Second one is a place to collaborate, and lots of what we found is, not only do you want to connect to people, but when you found them, you might want to have access to, can we just source some files together? Can we have a place where we can chat together? Can we book some meetings together? Just a home, a digital home, and we think this is going to be, has already proved to be a valuable part of what we're doing in terms of creating groups. And the last point, which I think is possibly the most important part of the grid, is more than just a digital platform, is about personal signposting. So if you don't know what you can't find, you can't find what you're looking for, or you don't know what you're looking for, we have a team, through Grid Champions we call them, come to talk to us. We're not going to give you the answers, but we're going to tell you where to look and where to speak to in order to find those answers. So the important thing about what we're trying to do here is show all the amazing activity that's going on and make it accessible to everybody, so that there's so much going on, there's so much that can help you. We just want to make it easy to get there.